Welcome back, friends. Today I have a very interesting message to share. And it all started last night when I was scooping some food out of a can that I had opened, and I cut my finger on the metal edge of the can. And the first thing that came to me was this reaction to make the can guilty. Of course, the can is not guilty. I created this experience for myself for some sort of benefit. Everything is perfect as it is. And that's what I came back to. But upon pondering this reaction to make guilty, I was amazed at what I received. And that is that when we make guilty, we are saying this object, this person, this whatever has the power to hurt us, has the power to make us feel something that we don't want to feel. And so whenever we make guilty, I realized we are giving our power away, which is a loss of energy for our system. So whenever one makes guilty, this is an energy loss, which is interesting because guilt is just a clever disguise for fear. Of course, fear that we can be hurt by something. And when we make anything guilty, of course, we are choosing to be the victim. And thus, we are giving our power away to XYZ and saying it has the ability to make us feel a certain way, etc., etc. So that was just an interesting little side note. Yet, as I cut my finger, I washed the blood off in the water, and I thought about it. I thought, well, I didn't think too hard at this point, yet I was thinking about it. Yet the first thing I did was I realized that it would be good to put some ointment on it and a little Band-Aid, just to stop the bleeding. And after I had done that, I continued that train of thought. And I thought, wow, this cut, it symbolizes one of these beliefs or programs. Because whenever we have a cut, we are losing our life force energy to it, which is our blood. We can think, whenever I see blood, I think of life force energy. And so whenever we have a belief, we are losing life force energy to it. Why? Is all of these beliefs and programs are all based in fear, which is basically making something guilty, and in doing so, giving our power away, losing that life force energy. And so I thought, wow, it's like every belief or program is like a cut, and whenever we entertain a fearful belief, it's like having a cut, because we're just going to lose life force. We're just going to lose energy. And this may be a kind of gruesome analogy to some, but for me, it was the exact thing I needed to stop entertaining some of these old things that I'm very aware of and I just want to move past. And so I feel like life gave me this example to just drive it home and to help me stop entertaining these old beliefs or patterns or programs. And so the analogy continued. I saw the balm, the healing ointment that I put on the cut is like having grace and compassion for ourselves when we become aware that we're operating from a belief or program. And this can be in the beginning, this can be after we have the awareness, after we've dealt with it. It's coming back to that grace and compassion for ourselves whenever we notice that we are operating from it and thus losing life force. And so we want to put that healing ointment on it so it doesn't get infected. And it's like when these beliefs, when we operate from them for so long, well, it's such a loss of life force, of energy, yes, but it's also can cause disease actually in the body when we operate from these patterns or programs for so long. And the body is just trying to assist us by showing us what we are doing, but in that case, we are unconscious to that our body is a helpful mirror, and so we likely make the body guilty and then just lose more energy. And so when we are conscious and we can see this, we can choose a different path. We can put that ointment on it and we can put the Band-Aid on. And what the Band-Aid represents is our higher self perspective, and it seals it so that we don't have to think about it. Because once we put the Band-Aid on, we can continue about our business without being focused on it. Imagine if you get a cut and you just stare at it. It's not going to get any better. if you just focus on the cut, just watch it, it's not going to get any better. Yet when we put the ointment and the Band-Aid over top, now it has an environment to heal. And that's the grace, the compassion, which is love, and then a higher self perspective that allows us to shift our focus to something else. And as an example of this, we could say maybe we are feeling alone, and this is the belief. And then our higher self perspective is that, wait, I have a spirit team, I have a light team that are always with me and available to me and helping me and supporting me on this path, and I can call on ascended masters and archangels and galactic friends and star family and soul family and on to assist me. And then wow, we realize, oh my gosh, and we're connected to literally everyone and everything. So really, we're not so alone. And so that could be the higher self perspective put in the place of the belief that I am alone. So put that Band-Aid on. And now we can shift our focus to something else. Yet, after putting the Band-Aid on, we may want to send that area, that cut area, love and light. And so I like to do this when I have any ailment on my body. Focus on sending the cells love, focus on seeing light in that area. And our intention is so powerful that just visualizing the light in that spot does make a difference. And since I've been on this path, my sensitivity has increased so much that I can actually feel this difference. And I trust that you will too. And so we can focus on bringing more light into the area. And I realized, wow, this is such a beautiful thing we can do when we notice that old program or pattern. We can bring more light into that. And that will also assist in dissolving it and making it not seem so permanent or like such a pattern. Bring light into it. And because we know when we bring the light and the love into this old pattern, well, it's not going to be able to sustain itself, because all these fear-based patterns are lower vibration, and light and love, when we think of course, high vibrational light, healing light, is very high vibration. And so it's just going to help these patterns dissipate. And so we bring in the light in that area. Perhaps we know of when we came up with that belief, and we can bring in light and love to that version of ourself that accepted that belief and lived life in that way. And so this is another thing we can do. And I made some notes here, so I'm just gonna double check because I don't want to miss anything. Yeah, that's everything. So I thought, wow, this is such a great analogy, because now when an old belief or program comes up, I can think of this, the ointment, the grace and compassion, the band-aid, the higher self perspective, and then just shifting focus to something else, moving on. Because when we put that band-aid on, we can go back to doing whatever we were doing, and we don't even think about that because we know now it's healing. And when we bring that light and love into it, we feel even better, like it has a little extra help with healing. And so in this way, we can notice any old programs or patterns that may have come up and go through this little exercise, and then shift our focus and move on. Because what I have noticed that I have done quite a bit is, after becoming aware of a belief or program, doing the work, and then when I have it come up again, and I'm getting better at this, but I almost start over analyzing it and just getting frustrated, feeling stuck, like, why is this not gone? Why is this still here? I thought I was over this, etc., etc. And so thinking of this analogy with the cut, we can just put our ointment on, put our band-aid on, send it light and love, and then move on. It doesn't take all this extra thought. And that, of course, is trusting that you have your higher self perspective to put in its place, which is the band-aid. Because, of course, if we have a cut and we don't have a band-aid, what's going to stop the bleeding? So we need that. That is a key ingredient to letting go of any fearful belief and program. It's actually a must-have ingredient, is our higher self perspective to put in its place. And so yeah, that's been what the universe gave me to share today. When it happened, I thought, oh, why is this cut happening? But thankfully, thanks to the last video I was like, everything is perfect as it is. And I noticed that once I did that, I became curious. I became more lighthearted. I became more open to what this was showing me, how this could benefit me, the opportunity this was giving me. And it turned out to be an analogy that has been helping me definitely today. And I trust that it will help all who watch it in this video. And so, yeah, I will leave it at that. I do offer one-on-one spiritual consultation, and this is guided by my higher self and actually your higher self. And so it is very powerful. And I have all the information on my website. The links are in the description box. And if you feel pulled to speak with me, to work with me, I would be so excited to do that with you. And yeah, I appreciate you watching this video. I appreciate you checking it out. And And yeah, I sincerely hope that this little analogy will assist you on your path today and for many days moving forward. All right, thank you so much for watching. Much love and blessings to you today.